Holy smokes, let's go. What a win. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Magic win 112-109 over the Detroit Pistons in a thriller, a physical, brutal game that came down to the final moments. And incredibly, the Magic win this game with, I believe, 3 offensive rebounds. I think that at least 3, maybe 4. It was either 3 or 4 offensive. I think it was 3 offensive rebounds in the final possession to put the game away, which is wild considering the opponent. But long before that, the Magic played terrific defense almost the entire night, and then you seal it with an Anthony Black block at the end to seal a 3-point win, to seal the top seed in the Eastern Conference for the NBA Cup, and you defeat the top seed in the league right now, or in the East right now, in the regular standings. You go on the road, you win in Detroit, you get revenge. So many storylines in this game, but it is a huge win. It's a huge win for this team. It's a huge win in the standings. It's obviously a huge win in the NBA Cup. What a special night this is. Happy Black Friday to us. Happy Anthony Black Friday to us, I guess I should say. Welcome to the 6-Man Show Postgame Live, presented by Thrivent. My name is Kevin. Wow. We're glad you're here. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is the show that is all about you. It is time for you to get involved in the chat. The best way to do that is through those super chats. We read every single one of them, and then we'll read several of the regular chats as well. This show is brought to you by Thrivent, specifically Marc.Abraham, who is a financial advisor with Thrivent. He's also a diehard Magic fan and season ticket holder. I know he is fired up about this one. Let's go. And he's also fired up about helping Magic maniacs just like you be wise with your money. And so whether you're looking to get out of debt or whether you're looking to invest, set yourself up for retirement, or anything in between, Marc.Abraham is someone that you want in your corner. You can give him a call at 407-366-4364, or his email address or website are down in the description below as well. Let's go. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Thrivent, for sponsoring the show. And I know he is so fired up right now because what a win. Let's go. We said going into this was the biggest game of the season so far. We're only 20 games in. We said this is the biggest game of the season so far. Detroit, 15-3 coming into this one. Obviously had the 13-game win streak, before their loss on Wednesday. You go to Detroit this time. Again, you get revenge for that game earlier in the year. And how sweet it was. How sweet it was. I'm so fired up. The other thing that we're going to be doing tonight is keeping an eye I was about to say keeping an eye on the end of the Knicks-Bucks game, but I see it as now a 7-point game with 29 seconds to go. So it looks like the Bucks are going to lose and be eliminated, which means, according to my calculations, your Orlando Magic are going to host the Miami Heat in the quarterfinal of the NBA Cup in a little over a week. Wow. That's going to be spicy as well. Unbelievable night tonight. Desmond Bane was ridiculous. Before we go to the super chats really fast, I wanted to pull this up because this is mind-blowing to me. He ends up with 37, I believe. Let's see. What did he end up? Yep, 37. But look at this. Really quick, before we go to the super chats, look at this. This is Desmond Bane's shot chart tonight. 0 threes, 37 points, 0 threes, and look at all these shots at the rim. Detroit, what are you doing? How are you letting Desmond Bane get all these off right here? Crazy stuff. He was at the rim all night. They had no answer. And he is quite literally the reason the Magic win this game tonight. Shout out Desmond Bane. Worth every pick. Let's go. Let's go, Magic fans. There's 330 of you here already. We just got started. This is going to be a party tonight. Glad you're with us. Let's go to the super chats to start us off. Louis Rosario says, nothing better than a Magic win on my 61st birthday. Let's go, Magic. Play the song. First off, happy birthday, Louis. For every Magic fan in the chat, let's wish Louis a happy birthday. Louis is a longtime Magic fan since day one, a big supporter of the show. And yeah, absolutely, 61 years. Happy birthday, Louis, man. Really, really appreciate all the love and support over the years. And happy birthday to you. But more importantly, he said the 3 magic words, the best words in all of sports. It's time to do it. Let's play the song. Orlando Magic, Orlando Magic, Orlando Magic, Orlando Magic, Orlando Magic, Orlando Magic, yeah. Watch out, beware. Let's go. Thank you for that super chat, Lewis. We got several more coming in here. Keep these coming. This is great. Mr. TV says, we run the East. Play the song. Here's the thing. There's two sides of this coin, right? There's the NBA Cup side, which statistically, that's a fact. The Magic are the number 1 seed in the East. They went 4-0. They had the biggest margin of victory in the entire East, so that's true. But there's another side of this coin, and that's the actual regular season NBA. You think about the fact that over the last 9, 10 days, whatever it's been, the Magic have beaten, well, no, it's less than that. It was 6 days ago. The Magic beat New York at home. Tonight, they beat the best team on paper, at least so far this season in the East, Detroit. So you beat New York last week. You beat Detroit tonight. Tuesday, you won by 41. I know Philly was beat up, but all of these things are adding up right now. Oh, yeah, let's not forget, you're still missing your 25-point-per-game scorer in Paolo Banchero, and you're missing who was last season your best bench scorer, Mo Wagner. It's another 13, 14 points off the bench. You're missing like 38 points right now, and you're doing this. And as of right now, I think it's safe to say that there is no team that is more feared in the East right now than the Orlando Magic. And tonight was the stamp on that one, for sure. For sure. A couple more super chats here. Jalen Lawson says, who still thinks the Bane trade was a dud? Desmond Bane quite literally wins you the game tonight. Jalen got off to a horrendous start in the first quarter. Franz Wagner had a couple nice moments, but didn't really ever get going tonight. A lot of credit goes to Detroit. We haven't even talked about them. I think Detroit is very good. Their defense, I think, is going to keep them in games every night. I love Jalen Duren, obviously. Cade Cunningham's a beast. All of those things. But Desmond Bane is the reason you stayed in this game and ultimately won it. So shout out Desmond Bane. Definitely worth the trade tonight, for sure. Timester TV with another super chat says, Cade, flip-flop, we on top. Magic in 5, take it to the cup. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, Pistons, there's a lot of whining going on over there. And I've always said this. Teams whose coaches are prolific whiners, that trickles down. The first case in point in the NBA is Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse is the worst whining coach in the league to me. Can't stand it. So when he was in Toronto, his teams whined. Now he's in Philly, his teams whined. JB Bickerstaff is another great example of that. He whines about everything. Even those blatant calls, things that are so obvious, he complains about everything. And that trickles down. And ultimately, that can have an effect on players. If you look over at the sideline, you see your coach whining on every possession, it's going to start thinking that there are injustices against you. And that's going to start messing with your psyche and how you're playing in a game like this, where it's very physical, and the refs were very inconsistent both ways. They called it certain ways in the first half, called it differently in the second half, called it certain ways on one end of the floor and different on the other end of the floor. And I mean both ways. I think both ways they were very inconsistent. Versus a Jamal Mosley who picks his spots. Sure, every coach is gonna complain about things, but as whining and demonstrative as JB Bickerstaff always is, that has to have an effect on the players. And I'm just glad he's not our coach. I'll put it that way. Jalen Lawson with the super chat says, this will bite me in a couple years, and I know this will be our bitter rival soon, but I like Detroit. Everyone except Stewart. I respect their grit. I 100% agree. 100%. Jalen, again, I love Jalen Duren. He's one of my favorite players in all of basketball, and was before this season too, by the way. Cade Cunningham's great. I don't love who Tobias Harris has become, not as a basketball player, but just as a character. But that is what it is. Let's see. Here's the thing, guys. Just so you know, just a little peek behind the curtain. If I take X and YouTube combined right now, this is looking like the most viewers we've ever had on this show live at one time. And so, hey, if you are here, glad you're here. If you're new, this is the Six Man Show. We put out podcasts every Monday and Thursday about the Orlando Magic, and this is our live show here on YouTube after every game, and so glad you're here. If you're hanging out with us right now, please hit the like button and help other Magic Maniacs find the show. Wow, this is fun. Okay, Luke Cameron with the super chat says, Cade choked. Bane is a gangster. Yeah, poor Cade. Chokes on Wednesday with those free throws. Choked tonight with the free throw. Did a good job with the missed free throw. That is a lost art, being able to miss free throws intentionally and get the rebound. So give him credit for that, but at the end of the day, he's got to make those. Got to make those. Sam Malhewish, friend of the show, one of the hosts of the show, says, Orlando Magic. Whoa. Let's go, Sam. Lou with another super chat says, these boys are playing amazing. Don't know why Tyus was in there in crunch time minutes, though. Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, Tristan wasn't great tonight. I think that probably had something to do with it. Tyus, I didn't think was horrible tonight. That's another thing. And I think they were looking for ball handlers and guys that could knock down free throws if it came to that. And so, yeah, Tyus was in the game there. Thanks for that super chat. And then Ty with another one. Ty Mr. TV says, hit the like and the hyper button. Yeah, you can hit that hype button if you want. Ty is also a channel member. That's another way to support the channel. You can become a member here on YouTube for just $5 a month or $7 a month if you're joining from Apple iPhones or iPads because of the Apple tax. But if you join from your computer, it's just $5 a month. It supports the channel, and it gets you some cool perks like the star that's next to Ty Mr. TV's name and some cool emojis and all that fun stuff. So thanks to everyone for all those super chats. Keep them coming. And again, there's 350 of you with us on YouTube and many more over on X. So thanks for being here tonight. Okay, wow, let's see here. A whole lot going on in this game. I want to just double check. I assume the Knicks game is done. It is. Let's go to the live standings just to confirm if my math is correct. These are the final NBA Cup standings for the Eastern Conference, and sure enough, your Orlando Magic are going to host your in-state rival, the Miami Heat. Winner goes to Las Vegas to play in the NBA Cup semifinal to play the winner of Toronto and New York. Holy smokes, are you kidding me? That is beautiful. A work of art. There's not a whole lot more you could have asked for tonight for the Magic. You get a win over the best team in the East right now. Cleveland loses, which they would have been in this spot if things had gone differently. New York wins, Milwaukee loses, so you end up playing Miami next week. Wow. That game is going to be, I believe, on either December 9th or 10th at Kia Center. Magic will be putting out information about tickets and all that kind of stuff, either tonight or first thing in the morning. I would actually expect probably late tonight after the Western Conference games are done. Sometime tonight, will really be early morning tomorrow, after midnight. They'll announce the schedule and those kinds of things. I would expect the NBA to do that. And then we'll know. We will know what the deal is, and I can't wait. That is going to be electric. Oh, my gosh. That's going to be so wild. All right, let's go to the chat. Let's see what we got here. See what we got from the rest of the Magic Maniacs tonight. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. I want to get out of the game. There's a lot of comments here from during the game. Okay, I think I've made it to the end of the game. Lots of people saying, play the song. David A. says, play the song Milk the Udders. If you know, you know. That's funny. T. Curry says, can't watch games like this. Heart was beating out of my chest. Man, I just cannot believe how the game ended. I'm not surprised that the Magic won. I'm not surprised that the Magic won in crunch time. I'm surprised that the Magic won with 3 offensive rebounds against the Detroit Pistons, a team that is known for their rebounding. Let's see the rebounding numbers for tonight. Magic with 55 total rebounds, 14 offensive rebounds, and the Pistons with 62 rebounds and 14 offense. So you tied the Pistons as far as offensive rebounds go, 14-14, which is quite impressive. Jay Cobb says, terrible shooting, but forced 24 turnovers. This was truly Magic ball. Here's the thing. I mean, the Pistons are going to whine and complain. That's what they do, like we just talked about. But you cannot turn the ball over 24 times and complain. You just can't do it. Magic were all over them defensively and forced a lot of problems for Detroit. And not just turnovers. I mean, if you look across the board, Cade Cunningham obviously kept them in the game. 13 of 26 from the field. He was great. Outside of that, though, I mean, obviously Jalen Duren's always going to have a high percentage. He gets all of his shots at the rim. But Asar Thompson was not good, obviously. Duncan Robinson, you hold him to 3 of 11 from 3. Across the board, you hold him to 39% from 3, 44% from the field. It was terrific defense from the Magic tonight. Terrific defense. And that's what made it fun. Detroit played great defense. The Magic played great defense. And for someone like me, I love defensive basketball. It was really, really fun. Really, really fun. Urav Patel says, Jalen Suggs needs to stop with the boneheaded threes. Man. Jalen rounded into form in the second half, obviously. Still took some bad threes, but that first quarter was really concerning. Like, really bad from Jalen. I think he was 0 of 5 or 0 of 6 from the field, had 2 turnovers. Yeah, it was just not good. Several like really ill-advised shots, and it was just tough. But, hey, you got to give him credit. He ended up knocking down some shots in the second half, especially that stretch where he had that long two. It looked like a three, but had a foot on the line. Then gets the steal, then walks into the three. Huge 5-0 run, solo 5-0 run. It was really, really, really special and a big moment in the game, too. Matthew Garfinkel says, Anthony Black Friday. You love to see it. You just love to see it. He has been so good. Janine says that Anthony Black this season is so fire. He's been crazy tonight. Started the game shooting really well, cooled off towards the end, but ends up 6 of 17, 16 points, 1 of 4 from 3. Wow. He was so good. Miguel says Bane can miss as many threes as he wants if he continues with these tough baskets. Yeah, again, 37 points with no threes. And if you were here earlier, I put up the shot chart of Desmond Bane, the number of times he got to the rim tonight. If I'm a Detroit fan, I am fed up with that. Like, by the third quarter, fourth quarter, I'm livid. Like, how are we not preventing this guy from doing this? Especially because the running joke with Desmond Bane is he has the shortest arms of a guy of his size in the league, and yet he's finishing over everybody, finishing around everybody, and not even really finishing over around. He's just, more often than not, was just open at the rim. Like, yeah, he had some really tough finishes tonight, don't get me wrong, but a lot of times he was just open. He was just taking what the defense was giving him. And if I'm a Pistons fan, I'm mad at that because he had that a ton. He had that a ton tonight. C.D. Gaddis says, no fear in this team. Let's go Magic. Hey, you got to give this team credit. You go to Detroit. That's a tough place to play this season, right? And all the pressure of the NBA Cup is on the line, and you had a 10-point lead with like 6 or 7 minutes to go, and they go on that 10-0 run. All of those things, and yet it was kind of like they mentioned on the broadcast. It's like the goldfish mentality. You take it one play at a time. You can't think about the last one. You can only think about this one. And they did it. They did it tonight on both ends down the stretch. They got some stops. They got some buckets. They got big rebounds. They knocked down their free throws in the clutch. No fear in this team is exactly right. Exactly. Otarion says it would have been pretty bad to lose to Detroit's 24 turnovers. Yeah. That would not have been great. Would not have been great. B. Dill says, love when Kevin is pumped up like that. Let's go Magic. Of course. Of course we're fired up. Do you believe in? Of course we're fired up. Let's go. Big night. Big night. And the only reason I'm not screaming louder is because we got family in town for the holidays, and they're not too far away, and they got some tiny kids, and I didn't want to wake them up. Otherwise, my whole neighborhood would have heard me. Let's go. Joe says, what a win. Absolutely. Absolutely. Love it. And I also love this because it's revenge. I loved that was on the mind of Desmond Bane in both interviews tonight. Like what did he say? What did he say last time? We got punked in the last game. I can't remember what the term he used. But yeah, it's true. We got absolutely embarrassed against Detroit the first game, and now here we are. Big win without your all-star, without your best bench scorer, which is going to be interesting to see. That's a separate conversation when Mo Wagner comes back. With the way Anthony Black is playing and Tristan da Silva is playing this year, is Mo Wagner still going to be the best bench scorer? I don't know anymore. Hopefully it's a little more quote-unquote by committee from the bench versus last year. You know, when Mo was healthy, the bench was not that good, but Mo was. Hopefully it's more like 2 years ago when we had a really good bench across the board, and Mo was just a big part of that. Oh, man, what a fun night. What a fun game. Man, this is going to be one of those that, like, obviously we're only a quarter of the way through the season, which is hard to believe that we're there, but, like, come April 12th, the last day of the regular season, this is going to be one of those games, to me, that's at the top of the list of best games, most important games, most entertaining games, most fun games, most meaningful games of the season for me. Like, this is going to be up there. This was really, really special. A gritty win against a very, very good team on the road to seal the fact that, as Matt Browning says, we are the real deal. Nobody wants to see this team in a playoff series. Again, there is no team more feared in the East right now. If you ask me, I am biased, but if you ask me, ask any team in the East right now, what team right this second they fear the most in the playoffs. Most of them are going to say the Orlando Magic. Most of them. Maybe not in the playoffs, but right now, like in the regular season, like who would you not want to face on Sunday, your next game day? It's probably the Magic. All right, we got a few super chats that came in here. Dojer Tube says, Cade's intentional miss off the rim was probably the cleanest execution of that I've ever seen. Straight back to him, hit that like button. 100% agree. That's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, he needs to make the first one, but give him credit for making a play at the end and giving them a chance to tie it up twice. They had 2 attempts. I think they had 2 attempts at the end. Brain's getting foggy there, but obviously the last one got blocked, thankfully. By Anthony Black. Hit that like button. Yeah, again, if you're hanging out with us live or watching this later, please hit the like button. This is currently our most watched live postgame live. That was terrible. We've never had this many people watching live at the end of a Magic game right now, which is crazy. Think about all the big playoff games we've had over the years. 2 years, I guess it is. We've never had this many of you joining us. So super, super pumped you're here. Hope you had a great holiday yesterday. Enjoyable Black Friday. There's a lot of things you could be doing on this Friday night. So the fact that you're choosing to be with us is very special, very meaningful. Thank you so much. We got a super chat here from Nick Monks. It says, Franz has to chill, settling for threes in the crunch. There was 1 3 I agree was a settle. He had another 3 that was wide open off of the, if I'm remembering correctly, off of one of the offensive rebounds was wide open. You got to take it. I do agree there was one that he tried to dribble into it and ended up settling. I think he had another one. I feel like it was like 3-point. Well, no, he had another. Okay, so it was 2 3-point attempts down the stretch. To me, it was just one that he settled, but maybe I'm misremembering. But either way, yeah, whether it's 1 or 20, he can't do it. He just can't settle, especially with how good this team was down the stretch at getting better shots than that, especially when you're not. If you're knocking down threes, that's one thing, like on Tuesday. But tonight, the Magic were able to eventually figure out how to get to the rim around Jalen Duren, who's obviously always going to be a problem. And the Magic got really good at that as the game went on. They weren't that good at it in the first quarter. Jalen Duren got the better of several guys, Desmond Bane, Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, just off the top of my head. But as the game progressed, the Magic were able to figure it out. Lots of happy birthdays in the chat for our dear friend Luis Rosario, which you love to see it. Blake Bickerstaff says, that's how you grind out a win. Absolutely. That's the best word for it. It was a grind, an absolute grind. Isaiah Stewart is a bum, says UTD. Yeah. He's just an interesting guy, and I always enjoy defeating him. Yeah, which is always a good feeling. Rafa says those offensive rebounds at the end saved us. Huge. Absolutely huge. I can't believe it. I believe it was 3. Let me go back and look at the play-by-play really fast, because I'm pretty sure it was 3 offensive rebounds in the span of 30 seconds maybe. Let's see. Quarter 4. Let's see. Wagner miss, Bane offensive rebound. Wagner miss, Bane offensive rebound. Carter miss, and then Carter. Oh yeah, Wagner miss, and then Carter offensive rebound. Yeah, so 3 offensive rebounds in the span of, 30 seconds, 31 seconds. That's crazy, absolutely crazy. What a backbreaker for Detroit, man. That was tough. Tough. Martin O'Donnell says, I will give Cade Cunningham some props for that forced miss. I don't think I've seen someone get it that accurate. Again, it was huge. Major Everett says that was stressful. Facts. That was very stressful. I will say, obviously, it's stressful from the standpoint of just being an NBA regular season game and you're coming up against the best team in the East right now and all those things. But the fact that the Magic had the NBA Cup quarterfinals locked in at the end of this game because they needed to lose by 11 or less to qualify at least as the wild card. I was a little more relieved, once we got to the final minutes and I knew, okay, the Magic are going to advance in the NBA Cup. It's just a matter of will they win the group or will they go as the wild card and have to go to Toronto? And so the fact that they won the group 4-0, best team in the East, best point differential in the East, second best in the league as it stands. Obviously, the Western Conference are playing their games right now, so that could change. But OKC obviously has the best point differential. Unless, I shouldn't say that. If they lose tonight, let's see. If the Thunder lose tonight by, plus 75. Okay, they're only up 11. So there's a chance if they lose tonight that the Magic could have the best point differential in the league. I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. Phil Fleetwood with the super chat. Thank you so much, Phil, for that. Very, very appreciate it. Okay, let's do this. Let's take a quick break from the chat. And let's go to the box score, and then we will look at the scores around the league as we always do. Let's see here. To the box score we go. Tristan, we mentioned him earlier. Very quiet night for him. Not the best. Had a couple of tough turnovers. Tried to force a couple bad passes. Well, passes that end up being bad. 8 points for him. 3 of 5 from the field. Did not knock down a 3. Franz, we talked about him earlier as well. Didn't have the best night tonight. Really struggled to get it going. Jalen Duren made his life very difficult at the rim, as he usually does, but was able to make a couple big moments in the fourth quarter. Obviously, we just talked about the missed shots in the final 30 seconds off of those offensive rebounds. You'd like to see him hit one of those, but ends up 8 of 19 from the field with 7 boards and 3 steals. Would really, really like to see Franz step up a little more tonight. Wendell, scoring the basketball, not a great night for him, just 8 points on 2 of 7 from the field, but does go 2 of 4 from 3. Does have 11 rebounds. 3 of those were offensive, and a couple of those were clutch ones. 3 assists and a block, and big-time defense on all 5 positions tonight. He had some really big moments defensively. Wendell, I thought, was very, very good. Desmond Bane, obviously what needs to be said. 13 of 25 from the field. 0 of 5 from 3, but ends up with 37 points and 8 boards, including 2 big offensive rebounds in crunch time. Jalen Suggs, we talked about him earlier, but that first quarter was abysmal. It was really, really bad. He really, really cost you and put this team in a hole. Fortunately for him, the bench came in, drew it to, was it tied at the end of the first quarter or close? I can't remember. It was close. I can't remember if it was, I think they were down 3, I think is what it was at the end of the first. But regardless, or down 2, that's what it was, because it was a 13-point deficit when Jalen went out, if I remember correctly. Regardless, Jalen ended up making some really big plays down the stretch. Ends up with 4 steals tonight, which is big time. Or no, is that? Yeah, that's right. 4 steals. Yeah, 4 steals tonight. Big time from him. AB, again, got off to a really good start. Had 12 points, I believe, at the half. Quiet second half, but ends up with 16 points and 4 boards, 4 assists, and 3 steals. Wow, what a night for AB. Goga, mixed bag for him. Had a couple nice defensive moments, but also had some pretty bad fouls, if you ask me. Ends up with 4 fouls on the night. Did have a nice putback dunk. Ends up with 4 points. J.I. had a really good stint in the first half as part of that run that brought the team back. Had a really good stint. Didn't play as well in the second half, but I thought he was really, really important in that first quarter. Same thing with Tyus Jones. Tyus obviously didn't score, wasn't great offensively, but he was part of that run. In that into the first quarter, going into the second quarter, he was a plus 13. Jonathan Isaac was plus 26 tonight. Plus 26 in 13 minutes. Anthony Black plus 27 in 31 and a half minutes. Wow. How about that? Desmond Bane was a 0. Means you needed him really bad. Magic shoot 41% from the field, 16% from 3. My gosh. You win a game going 5 of 30 from 3 against the best team in the East so far this season. That is actually crazy. But they ended up shooting 32 free throws tonight, 27 of 32. Good job by the team for making their free throws tonight. Again, 55 boards. Magic turned the ball over 13 times. Let's see, the Pistons with those 24 turnovers, 62 rebounds. They had 31 free throws. So for all the whining and complaining about that the Pistons did, the Magic ended up shooting 1 more free throw than them. That's unbelievable. Just a bunch of crybabies over there. It's absolutely crazy. All right, let's look at some of these team stats here. If I can get it to pull up. Maybe. Oh, that's not it. Let's go back. I'll go here then. I'll go here and here. All right, team stats. Magic trailed by 2 at the end of the first quarter, which is a miracle because they did not play well. But they win the second quarter by 3, the third quarter by 4. They lose the fourth quarter by 2. They get 62 points in the paint again. So much of that was Desmond Bane. I bet Desmond had 30. Well, no, he had all those free throws. So he probably had 25 to 28 points from in the paint, I would guess. Like, he was just there all night. All night. 12 fast break points for the Magic. Wish you could have gotten a little more than that. But again, credit Detroit. Their defense was really good tonight. 24 bench points for the Magic, 13 turnovers like we mentioned. Pistons get 16 points off turnovers. 24 turnovers for the Pistons. Magic really capitalized. 29 points off turnovers. Wow. This was a really fun game. 13 lead changes, 8 ties. Really fun. Really, really fun. Again, we go to the NBA Cup standings. If you're just joining us, we went over this earlier, but the Magic will host the Miami Heat next. It's either December 9th or 10th. We'll find out the schedule probably really early tomorrow morning, after midnight sometime. But the Magic will host the Miami Heat in the quarterfinal of the NBA Cup with a chance to go to Vegas. Win that game, you go to Vegas. Pretty exciting. Let's look at the scores around the league really fast. Because remember, these games all count for the NBA regular season too, so these games matter. Knicks beat the Bucks. Pacers get their third win of the season. They beat the Washington Wizards. Hornets beat the Bulls. The Bulls continue to fall apart. The Magic will host the Bulls on Monday. That's the next Magic game. Sixers beat the Nets. Not really surprised there. Nets are really bad. Hawks beat the Cavs. That one is a bit of a surprise because the Cavs, if they won this game tonight, the Cavs would have been who the Magic play in the quarterfinal of the NBA Cup. But instead, the Cavs got the win. I should say if they won by, I think it was 16 or 17, something like that, they would have qualified. The Clippers currently up on the Grizzlies. Lakers currently leading the Mavericks. Jazz currently leading the Kings. Nuggets currently leading the Spurs. Thunder, Suns, only a 4-point game at the half. That's a good one. And then again, your Orlando Magic go on the road to Detroit to beat the Pistons to go 4-0 in the NBA Cup group play. Wow. Pretty crazy. That's really, really exciting. All right, let's see. I think I saw a super chat while I was over there running my mouth. It is another one from Phil Fleetwood who says, if KCP was still here, it would have been a blowout. Yikes. Yeah. That's a great way to look at it. You swap Desmond Bane for KCP, and where is this game tonight? No Paolo. Franz had a hard time. Jalen was abysmal to start the game. Who you turn to? You don't turn to anybody. You're just done. You're done for. And that's why you go trade for a guy like Desmond Bane, who can not just obviously be a knockdown shooter, which we're still, we're seeing signs of that. Obviously, he didn't do it tonight, but knockdown shooter, thanks to the gravity of the guys that are around him, but also nights like tonight when other guys don't have it, he can have it. And he can single-handedly win you a game, and that's what he did tonight. Thanks for that super chat. Really appreciate it. All right, let's see what else we got here from the chat tonight on this Friday night, 10:45 p.m. Want to also shout out Marc.Abraham and Thrivent sponsoring the show. If you're looking for a financial advisor to help you out, whether you have a lot of money, you're looking how to invest it, or whether you have not a lot of money, you're trying to figure out how to get forward through life, struggling financially, we've all been there. It's a really, really tough place to be. Marc is someone you want in your corner. You can give him a call, shoot him an email, visit his website. All of that information is in the description below. Again, Marc is definitely somebody you want to help you be wise with your money. And so reach out to him. I know he loves helping Magic fans be wise with their money. And so, yeah, reach out to Marc. You will not regret it. And plus, it's free. The opening consultation call is free. So, just give him a call. What do you got to lose? Brian says, such a great win. 100%. Pissed off Magic fan says, Bane was the aggressor tonight. He was so good. Heck yeah, says Bickerstaff is a top 5 complainer among coaches for sure. Yeah, he's horrible. Blake says, clutch challenges tonight. Yeah, shout out Jamal Mosley. This is such a good point. Shout out Jamal Mosley. They have the challenge earlier in the game, and they get it right. The second challenge, though, he did not even wait for the bench, for Amir or anyone else from the bench to tell him to challenge it. He trusted his players. He trusted his players because he knew the Pistons were going to try to go fast. Desmond Bane or Desmond and Franz, I think it was, I can't remember, were adamant about it being off of, I believe it was Cade. And he just trusted. He said, look, I'm going to ride with my guys. And he did, and it worked out. And love to see it. Love to see it. Amazing Dream says we beat them in the paint and points off turnovers. Yeah. Things that the Pistons do really well. They rebound the basketball really well. Points in the paint, very high. They score off turnovers, and the Magic did a really, really good job. Really, really good job of that. Rafa says, love your jacket, Kevin. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Got it from a friend as a gift. Very, very grateful for that because, yeah, this is part of the new City Edition line, and it is sharp. Love it. Major Everett says, today has been such a jolly day. Love that. What a jolly day. Waste my money on Black Friday Magic deals, watch the Eagles lose, decorate my Christmas tree, and top it off with a huge Magic win. You'll love to see it. Glad you had a jolly day. That's great. That is great. Let's see. Rafa says, Duncan Robinson and Mo Wagner are besties from college. Hey, one of my favorite podcast episodes over the last several years is when Duncan Robinson had Mo Wagner and Franz Wagner on the show together. That was really, really great. I encourage you to go watch that, honestly, on YouTube. It was really, really good to hear those guys, kind of talk just casually. Obviously, Franz and Mo don't typically go on English podcasts. Mo hosts a podcast in German, and they've been on podcasts in German as well. But in English, it's very rare to get that kind of look at those guys in a very relaxed setting versus like the very buttoned up press stuff that they typically do, on TV or whatever. So that's a really, really good listen or good watch on YouTube. Highly encourage it. Nikolai, I think you're totally fair. He says, love Jalen, but he almost lost us that game with the bad shots and constant lost gambles that out the defense and rotation. Yeah, there were several of those gambles. I think of one specifically in crunch time, and it's just like, man, he's so good when he gets it right, but when he doesn't get it right, it really, really hurts the team. It makes the team out of position. And, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Cedric Brown says, is Jonathan Osborne a good leader? Yeah. He's a great leader. That's funny. Yeah, we love J.O. around here. Great leader. The father of the six-man show. Excellent leader. So Amazing Music says, still waiting for those Mosley apologies. I've got nothing to apologize for. I'll be honest. I was never Mosley out. Have never been Mosley out. Ever. Have I been concerned with some things? Sure. Not once have you ever heard from my lips that I want Jamal Mosley gone. Never, ever. So I have nothing to apologize for. This does not surprise me. The beginning of this season was concerning. Don't get me wrong. I definitely said that. But now some of these people in the chat, they got some apologies to own up to, for sure. But not this guy. Oh, man. All right, let's hit a couple more of these, and then we're going to call it a night because what a night it was. Number 17 says, Cup aside, this is another tough early statement win under our belt. We got under Cade's skin, 100% on both. Got under Cade's skin, which you love to see. Let me look ahead. Let me look at the... I honestly can't remember if the Pistons are a team that we play 4 times or 3 times. Some teams in the East you play 3 times, sometimes you play 4. Okay, so it looks like we play them two times, obviously both at home since we've been to Detroit twice. So the next time it's not till March. March 1st we host Detroit, and April 6th, the next to last home game of the season. So luckily there's a decent amount of time between now and then, obviously, several months. So the temperature might cool off a little bit, but that's still going to be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Blake, you're right. Miami is pretty feared. They're playing really well. They are. I still like how the Magic match up with them, though. Obviously, teams are very different from opening night, but I do like how the Magic match up with the Heat for sure. All right, last couple thoughts here. Blake also says, thanks for being here and for hosting the Maniacs. Hey, it is my pleasure, Blake. My pleasure, everybody. Happy to be here. It's really, really fun. All right, let's see. Yeah, lots of big rebounds. Everybody's talking about it. It's great. Blake also says, Cade is special, so calm, reminds me of Luka. Yeah, he's so chill in those big moments. The little step back, the fallaways. I love that he doesn't feel like he has to be a three-point shooter. That's what I love. So much of the NBA these days. Luka, whomever, and guys that have it, they have it. That's great. Luka can do it. Anthony Edwards, streaky sometimes in that regard, but I love that Cade in crunch time knows he doesn't have to do that. He can just get to his spot. Mid-range 2 is great. If you're elite at it, it's still great in basketball. I know the stats argue otherwise, but if you're elite at it, it's very good. Very good. Kunblaya says, how is Isaac plus 26? He was big. He was in there for 2 really big runs. Really, really big. So you give him a lot of credit. Dumps with a very generous super chat says, light work. Happy late Thanksgiving, guys. Let's go Magic. Thank you so much for that super chat, Dumps. That's very, very kind of you. And yes, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Peter says, never a dull moment with Kevin and a big win for the lovely Magic. Greetings from Germany. Greetings to Germany from us here in the United States. Hey, I can't wait, by the way. I have a little countdown on my phone. We are at, 45 days, I think, from the trip over to Berlin. I'm very excited about that, by the way. Cannot wait. I'm obviously very excited because I'm counting down. I've got it on my phone. But yeah, cannot wait to get over there and to see all the Magic maniacs in Germany. It's going to be great. Heck yeah, says, most intense regular season Magic game since when? Oh, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I have to think about that one. I'm thinking about last year. Last year, were there intense games? I mean, obviously you think about the Franz game winner in LA, but that wasn't intense. You were playing with house money at that point. Paolo had just gone out recently. Franz was playing well, but you're on the road, West Coast trip. There wasn't a lot at stake other than just morale and pride and just the joy of winning in LA over the Lakers late like that. But man, I don't know. That's a good question. Let me know, chat. That can be our final question of the night. Chat, let us know. When's the last time the Magic had such an intense regular season game? Might have been into the season last year as the Magic were fighting for their playoff lives as they were 41-41 thanks to all the injuries. Blake says 24 points in the paint for Bane tonight. Yeah, I knew it was right around that 25-point mark. Man, he was just so good. So good. Duval says, this win made my Black Friday. You and me both, brother. You and me both. Time Mr. TV says, Mose still has bad tendencies. Good coach, 100%. 100%. Good coach. 11-22-33 Jordan says, I will apologize to AB. He's turned it up. He's been very good. And again, defensively, still making some great plays. None bigger than tonight. Obviously, the block that sealed the game. Dev says, will Wemby be out for the San Antonio game? Yes. By all accounts, Wemby will not be back in time for, I believe it's Wednesday. Yeah, it is Wednesday, the 3rd. Will not be back in time for that. Brian Hurd says, you going to Germany? I'm going too. We need to meet up 100%. Yes, we are going to have meetups in both Berlin and London. Stay tuned to that. We have more information coming probably very, very soon. Yeah, that's what's going on. All right. I think that's going to do it for us tonight, guys. 45 minutes. This was a big game, which called for a big post-game live, and it was a lot of fun. Wow. What a night. A night for the ages. A night we're going to remember at the end of the season. I really believe this was really, really special. Gutsy win. Gritty win. A work of art. As ugly as it was, a work of art. Shout out Desmond Bane. Shout out all the guys for pulling this one out. This is a big one. Magic not back in action until Monday. We'll have a new episode of the Six Man Show then. But until then, of course, have a good weekend and let's go Magic.